Friday night, Jack Devnarain is live in conversation with an iconic South African personality who shares the true stories that shape their remarkable lives. Join us for reality radio as real as it gets. From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Friday night, only on 919. Reality radio, as real as it gets, only on 919.
Hello everyone, happy Friday. You're listening to 919. My name is Jack Devnarain and this is Reality Radio. It's as real as it gets on a Friday night. We listen to stories, real stories from real people. And tonight, our live in-studio guest, one of my favorite people, writer, stand-up comedian, comic actor as well, known on stage as well as small screen and big screen, Joey Rasdien. Welcome to you, my friend.
Thank you, Jack. In commentary, when you take the mic away from your mouth, that means the other person is going to speak. So if I put my mic down, just know that you're the one that's going to speak.
As one goes down, the other one goes up. That's how it works, right?
Sometimes life is like that, because sometimes a fish needs to swim against the current, and sometimes they must just go with the flow.
Today, we be fish, going with and going against the flow. But this is a very warm welcome to all our viewers and all our listeners. Yes, we do stream live on YouTube. And in fact, to whoever's out there, if you're going to catch us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, because that way you and I can keep the story going long after today's episode. But I really wanted to have you around today because you and I have been working together on so many events. Sometimes I'd be emceeing, sometimes you'd be doing stand-up, sometimes you're just there. We always connect with each other, but we never have a chance to sit like this and talk stories.
We actually talk lots of stories, but just off screen and off the mic. Yes, welcome to our channel. Please subscribe, 91.9 FM, to see more real stories. This is as real as it gets, eh? You in one of my favorite movies, South African movies, 31 Million Reasons.
Oh, yes. That's one of my favorite ones. And I enjoyed it because I tell you why. That was me going back into my life as a policeman and then telling the story of what actually took place. The SBV cash depot was robbed just a few years after I had started in the police. So it became a story of legend. So for us to get to tell that story with director John Barker in 2010 was a big deal for us. But what's your connection to that movie?
John Barker. That's the first thing. And then also did you do karate in that movie? Because you must a black belt. People that don't know. This guy, he's a black belt.
Man, no, I make up my belts as I go along. I think, look, there was another connection, and that was Trevor Gumbi.
Yes, Gumbi, yeah. Yeah, Gumbi was also stand-up. Earlier, when you introduced me, you said I'm a comedic actor. Actually, I got nominated for Barakat, and I did a drama. That was a
drama
dramatic,
as well. See, I was going to ask
a dramatic
you
role. And I did Reika 2. You did Reika 1. I did
That's
Reika
right.
2. And that was a proper dramatic role. So I tried.
No, that's incredible. I didn't realize you did Reika 2 as well, because I mean that's just been released.
Yeah. So I've been on screen in a couple of past weeks. So people always ask me, where are you? I don't see you anymore. And I'm like, you don't have Showmax, or you don't have Netflix, or whatever. I don't know if I'm, or you don't have YouTube. I don't know if I'm allowed to say those things. But the thing is,
people love the fact that they recognize you from TV, mostly because of your comic work.
Yes.
But there's so much else going on. So let's go back to when you knew that you were a performer at heart. Before they called it stand-up, before they called it comedy, anything. When you were a kid, how did you know you're going to be an actor?
I actually didn't. I actually wanted to become an imam. Funny enough.
I'm sure the imams found that very funny as well.
Actually, I grew up in a very strict household, a very tartib household, like they say, Salih. My grandfather's brothers started mosques in Vrededorp in Fitas, 23rd Street and 11th Street, Imam Khairullah and Pankidol. And then my stepfather was an imam as well, because my father passed away when I was 9 and my mother remarried, and she remarried imam, and I've learned most of my Islamic knowledge from him, and then he passed away. I'm not making this stuff up, it's reality. When I was like 12, and then my mother passed away when I was 17. And so I had lost, and in my my wife, my first wife, Hakim's mom, who's 22 now, on Sunday, it will be 18 years. She passed away 18 years ago. So yeah. But yeah, we're healing. We're on that road.
Of course, no, but I know what a powerful influence she had.
And
She was a big
yes,
personality. She was
yes.
so
You know,
important to you.
coming back, just circling back, is that when I met her, she took me to a Amway meeting, Network 21.
I remember that.
You
Okay,
remember
what
that?
happened? Yeah.
And then there was this guy that was charismatic. So he was like a comedian and a pastor all in one from America. I don't know what was it. I think his name was Jim Dornan. And he was this guy that had a crowd at Standard Bank Arena eating out of the hands of his palm. And I was like, yo, that is so brilliant. I'm sure I'll be able to do that. And then the load shedding started. So there it's back now.
Yeah, well, we just keep going. I think if there's a problem, Tava will tell. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
no, we
no,
good.
Yeah,
can
we
keep
could.
going.
Yo, did you see that load shedding? It started 10 minutes late because this is block 10. Because if it was block 11, it was going to start at 6:11. Yeah.
Tin Swallow was there to just hold it back.
Yes,
just for
yes.
like
Yeah,
10 minutes.
yeah.
yes.
Speaking about that, you know, I don't know who to, because I watched both interview. I watched the Putin interview, the whole one. I spent the whole day watching it, and
The
Sona.
Which one? The Tucker Carlson one.
So
Really?
yeah, I watched the Tucker Carlson one, the Putin interview. In between, I went to mosque, and then I also in between watched some of the Sona interview, Sona speech, State of the Nation, and I was like, yo, people say Putin lie. They say we can't believe Putin, but brah, yo, that cupcake guy, I mean, Uncle, hi man. The uncle guy. I was like listening to him and I'm thinking to myself, yo, you coming with the other angle, yeah? Which is quite, I understand that. But no, my guy, you were in a deputy president that time when you were saying the capturing was happening.
But he's got that innocent look about him. Do you think people buy that?
I don't know. Like I was watching old videos of the NUM, National Union of Mine Workers, and Codesa, and how him and Rolf Meyer were like trying to get the Codesa going on there at the Empress Palace. Remember? Back then.
Yeah.
At that time we were still politically aware. I know you were so politically. You still politically aware. By that time
I think you were more politically aware.
Yeah, aware. I was very aware that time. Because you must remember, UDF in our areas was big. Trevor Manuel, Uncle Trevor, and Ignatius Jacobs, and Cheryl Carolus. All these people were like, Geraldine Fraser. They were like in our communities, like the UDF was big.
Yeah.
So we were politically aware, and I went to Coronationville High School. And you know, Coronationville High School, they actually made Daryl Malgas. They actually made a TV program about that.
Okay,
You
I didn't know
remember
that.
back in the day, what was it called? We went to Canada. It was during your time when you just also started, man. What was the brand's name? I forget the name.
We'll
now.
follow that up as soon as you get the name. I'll try and follow that up.
Yeah. Daryl Malgas was the character in there. In any case, yeah, it was based on Coronationville High School.
Now you got good memories of that time because there were lots of activists. People were politically active. They were quite outspoken within the communities and beyond that. So within all of that, did you find a space for yourself to be the entertainer, or did you feel as if you were being shoehorned into, I got to be active, or I got to be productive, I got to be a professional, or I'm just going to be an entertainer? Where did you find yourself?
Bro, at that you should know. At that time, there was no such thing as what you gonna do stand up. What is that? What you gonna be? What is that? Do you have to
what is
study
that?
for that? No, like your parents were like, no, you must become a teacher. You must even becoming a cook was like a taboo. You gonna cook for other people and they're gonna pay you? No. So at the time, like this is like early 90s.
Yeah.
It's like election time. That time, the first election time, Matiba just comes out of prison in January. It's gonna be also now. The 12th in February now. Next week. And I remember, I think I was in now what's called grade 11 in standard 9 in 91. In any case, we went to the F&B stadium.
Yeah.
to go listen to him speak. My mother was still alive at the time, and I remember we we actually hijacked a truck. Like there was a truck that came past our school in Industria.
Yes.
So our school was in Coronation Mall, but then there was a train line, and then behind us was like Crucis, Industria. You know, Nampak was there,
Yeah,
Adcock
yeah.
Ingram was there. And then that trucks that came out, the children was like, hey, you taking us to FNB Stadium now. And then that time we stayed in Rivoli. So luckily, you have to go past Rivoli to go to the stadium. Then I went on the truck. We were going to go to the stadium. Then I'm like, yo, but we're in Rivoli now. I'm going to get off and go home. As I came home, my mother shouts, why are you not going to the stadium?
I love that.
Why are you here? All the children is going to the stadium. Go to the stadium. Go, Auntie Anne. And then she's telling our neighbor, Auntie Anne, kijk die kind. Die kind.
She was embarrassed that you weren't already at the stadium.
Yeah. She was very embarrassed that way. And then she was like, no, I have to go see him in real life as well. So all the old aunties obviously didn't see him at the time.
Yeah.
And then they all were like, "Hoe jullie gekom? How did you come here?" No, we came with that truck. Okay, we taking all those aunties and we going to, because it was Nazareth, so Rivoli down, and we were there. And it was also the first time in my life where I actually saw AK-47, because we were used to R5s and R9s
R1s
and R1s. The mellow yellow. We weren't used to AKs.
Was that a scary sight?
It was like, yo, this guy has got a gun, but it's got duct tape on. What's going on?
Okay, maybe it wasn't the real deal then.
Then it was. It was. Okay. I think it was called AK-74. Because you get the AK-47, that was the Russians that time. Yeah. And in 1974, they made a new version of it.
Okay. All right. Well,
the Apla version.
We'll talk about new versions. We're going to take a quick break. Just about a minute or so. We're going to come back to Joey Rasdien. This is 919, and this is Reality Radio.
Reality Radio. As real as it gets. The Feel Good Drive with Nicole De Silva on 919.
A person with him was being in that space at all, it sort of elevates you to where other people would like to use you. I'm now at a point where I'll say no, so I can see it from a mile away. Someone you don't hear from in forever and always sends you a message. Hey friend! Friend, long time!
Oh my gosh, what are you up to?
Not even how you, straight into, do you mind doing this for me?
Hell no. Hell no.
I've had to learn how to say no. And then there's not even friends, there's people that work in the industry that like to take advantage.
The Feel Good Drive, 3 to 6 p.m. on 919. We all love a good story. Stories of love and life. Stories that entertain and inspire. And the best stories are the ones that happen to be true. Every Friday night, Jack Devnarain is live in conversation with an iconic South African personality who shares the true stories that shape their remarkable lives. Join us for Reality Radio, as real as it gets. From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Friday night, only on 919. Reality Radio, as real as it gets, only on 919.
And we're back to Reality Radio. My name is Jack Devnarain. You're listening to 919. And here's some news. I know this is episode 2, but things are really getting interesting. We're actually going to do a free ticket giveaway. We've got some comedy coming up. And it's not just because we got the legendary Joey Rasdien in the guest chair tonight. No, we've got something coming up tomorrow night. That's Saturday, the 10th of February at 7 p.m. It's going to happen at the Victory Theatre in Houghton. I don't know when last you went to the Victory Theatre, but that place is happening. And we've got my good friend Jeremiah Gounden, a stand-up comedian. There's also going to be some live music. So we're asking you, if you're watching us right now, if you can hear this broadcast, go along to the 919 FM Facebook page. You'll see a post there that describes exactly what's going on with this comedy night. Leave a comment. Put down your name and the words Small Stuff. Small Stuff is the name of the show. It's happening tomorrow night, Saturday, the 10th of Feb. Just leave us a little note there, and I'll make sure you get double tickets to this free comedy show tomorrow at the Victory Theatre. So, Joey, we still haven't finished the story about the point at which you decided you're going to take this leap into the unknown. When did that happen and how?
Firstly, just circling back to the Victory Theatre. I stayed around the corner from there. And the last time I was at the Victory Theatre was a Chalsa, my son's graduation from Madrasa. So that was and that time they used it as a church. And then after that, Tumi Moraki used it as a production for one of her shows. In any case, circling back. So Jim Dornan, so we were there at Amway.
Right, back to Amway.
Yeah,
right.
so me and my wife at the time, we weren't married yet, and she said, "What do she's got these tickets." Firstly, because we love theater. That time I wasn't an actor or anything, but we love theater. So I watched Cut in the Kings live, and then it was like Lukman Adams was like there, and Jody, and we went to go watch. That was one of the nice plays that we went to go watch. And then we went to go watch the Smirnoff International Comedy Festival at the Civic Theatre, the Joburg State Theatre.
Okay, yes.
And then that's the first time I basically saw stand-up. And the headliner that night was David Carr.
Oh, absolutely. Now that'll get you hooked.
And then the MC was Jimmy Carr. Mel Muller from South Africa performed, and Al Proges was the other guy.
Yeah.
And then there was Martin Davies from England, he performed. Subsequently, I performed with all those people. But at the time, I was like, my goodness, and David Carr was still young. He was younger than me. I'm older than him. And I was like, my goodness, I want to go do this. And that's when she's like, why don't you find out more about it? And then I did a audition for CLC.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't do comedy at the time.
Yeah,
I did an audition for CLC. You remember CLC?
As an actor, right?
As an actor, yeah. As an actor. So my first job was actually as an actor was before I did stand-up. So I did, don't worry, CLC is coming. Me and Felicity Sheba. I remember we still spoke about it the other day. This is like 23 years ago,
That's
24
amazing.
years ago.
That's amazing.
And 2000. This is like 2000. Don't worry, CLC is coming. The guy on the beach was like, how about a lolly to make a lady choli, a grenadella for the fella? I was that guy. And then the director of that advert commercial was Bevan Cullinan.
Ah, right.
And
okay.
Bevan Cullinan said, no, why don't you come try out stand-up at the Underground in Melville? And then I found out about and then I went there, and then Bevan and John did this thing about Mama just killed a man, held a gun, and then I did me and Wackett Simpson.
Yeah.
The same night we started doing stand-up. He was in radio at the time, like he was a producer at some community radio in Pinetown, and he came to Joburg and he worked at Highveld. And then we started on the same night. Chris Forrest was the headliner, and Martin Jonas was on the bill, and then myself and Wackett and John was the MC, and Bevan. And and that was the beginning of the end.
Oh, yeah. See,
This is like 22 years ago. 23 years ago, yeah.
So if now you're looking back to the time it all started, often it's said, and I know this is very, as a performer, sometimes you do your best work when you simply don't know any better. You are just setting yourself free. You are having fun, the time of your life. And then as you get more and more into the profession, the more you start to learn, and the more you refine yourself and your craft, you start putting in all these you start
Gaps,
to like contain yourself. You put yourself in rails so that you don't want to make a mistake there, you don't want to make a mistake there. Did you find the same thing happening in your profession, in your work?
I can tell you for a fact, Pio Manati show, the PMS. It was myself, David Kau, Riyad Musa, Kagiso Latiga, Tepo Mogali, Ronnie Modimola, Kim Engelbrecht, Koki Falco, Jason Cope, all these, Luis Ogola. We did the Chris Forrest.
Yeah.
We did the Pio Manati show. And at the time, we did not think that it's legendary. At the time, we just wrote things and shot it and be like, oh, okay, that's funny, that speaks. That stuff that we did 20 years ago is more applicable now than 20 years ago. Because we did stuff that Mfanakiti Investments was basically, before state capture and corruption happened, Mfanakiti Investments was all about how people are corrupt. And Kagiso Latiga and David Kau played the BE Cats, and Chris Forrest played the WMC. We did not. There wasn't names for it at the time.
That's incredible. So this was like a prescient view of, we find this really funny, and in time it actually came to pass in the form of state capture.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that is crazy.
Crazy. We did that. We did a sketch about Osama, where Riyadh was Osama bin Laden, and Madiba and David Carr was Madiba.
Really?
And we got into trouble for that. But, and how Madiba is telling him, yo, guy, they're going to catch you. Stop your nonsense. So we did certain things that's in my memory.
Yeah.
That is more one settler, one bullet. That's how Pure Monati started. Where Chris Forrest is coming out, and then we protesting. One settler, one bullet.
Yeah.
And then David Cow takes out the gun. Then he shoots Chris, but he shoots him miss.
Oh, okay.
And then he's like, yo, guys, there's no more bullets.
I love that.
And then Pure Monati just started.
Do you think you can be a stand-up comedian without being politically aware?
No, you can't. You have to have some sort of. Firstly, I think opinion needs to be scrapped from the dictionary, and sarcasm. The two things that I think should be scrapped from the dictionary is one, opinion, because opinion lack knowledge, it lack empathy. So you can say anything you want and say, but that's my opinion.
Right.
So there's no empathy, there's no knowledge. Where does that come from?
Yeah.
Whereas if you have an observation, then you go, I like a BMW car because it's got this, and this, and this, and this. It's no more an opinion. It's now an observation because it comes with knowledge. Whereas people just spew out opinions without having any knowledge about the thing. Like Americans have an opinion on Putin, but it's not the knowledge. They didn't research it. It's what they get spoon. The street light effect.
Yeah.
When people consume information that is readily and easily available. And that information can be completely wrong. So it skews a whole entire subject.
And we can see people get very passionate about it because they demand that this is my opinion.
Yes.
And I stand by it.
Yes.
But you're suggesting that unless it's actually backed up by some kind of insight and some basic research,
it doesn't become, it's not an opinion anymore. It's a observation.
Right.
Or it's your take on it. It's my point of reference, my viewpoint on it.
So people's viewpoint about Bafana, for example.
Bafana played well. I was completely surprised. It dominated the element of surprise. I was like, my goodness, these guys. So what Bafana proved is that Sundowns as a club is beyond most clubs in Africa.
Yeah.
Because half of the team plays for Sundowns. So whatever is happening at Sundowns, obviously transferred into Bafana, and you could see it was a professional outfit, although they had to use their own club bags. So
they're doing something right, though.
I guess it's that teamwork. I guess it's that professional thing.
Yeah.
So it was very surprising. It was very surprising. I think we were unlucky because we should have won that game because the free kick got saved, and the guy, I don't know, I forget his name. I always forget people's names when they do something negative. If it was a positive thing,
you'd remember the name.
Like, they'll be like, you guys, you don't know Andile Charlie. But
I love that.
Yeah, but when it's a negative thing, I forget the name. So he kicked over the bar. So
let's talk, because I know you love soccer.
Yes,
but I'm not sure I'd call you a soccer fanatic.
Yes, I'm not a soccer fanatic.
Okay, so let's talk about fanatics, because what concerns me when I watch soccer are people who are actually prepared to fight with each other. They'll have a go at each other. They get angry. They will come to blows because this is my team, this is your team, this guy's better, the guy's better. But
wait, sorry to break it. Amongst the Indians,
that's a big thing. That
like
is a big
Manchester
thing.
and Liverpool.
Exactly that. That is a great example. And I worry about that because I think, guys, you know that those same guys that you're fighting about are going to end up in the English squad together. They're buddies. They're looking at you and they don't know you.
Yeah, I read a actually, no, I didn't read it. I saw it, but I don't think I'm going to speak about it. But people at home, you can go Google what Jude Bellingham said to Mason Greenwood on the field, and he's actually might be banned from La Liga for saying that. But you can, in your own time, go Google it.
According to your observation,
Yes.
was that? Do you think it'll be the right call for him to be banned?
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is, for him,
Yeah,
it's undeniable what he said, because the
Okay.
lip reading was clear,
it was clear. Okay.
was completely clear.
Yeah.
I think his emotions overshadowed his reason in the moment. I think he was riled up in that moment. I think he comes from a very good home, and because he comes from that home, a very close-knit home and close-knit family, in that moment, if it's riled up and that's the guy, yes, I would have done something similar.
We saw what Zinedine Zidane did when somebody mentioned his
Yes.
mom. Yeah. So I suppose that happens.
Yeah, it does happen. Yeah.
But we're going to talk more about passions and fans when we get back. We're going to take a short break. We are live in the studio with Joey Rasdien. This is Reality Radio. My name is Jack Devnarain. We're going to see you after the break.
919. Breakfast on demand.
What about a passionate couple neighbor? They always seem to be either fighting loudly, or once they've done with their fighting, they make up loudly. Do you know what I mean? They used to wrestle all the time. I'm sure they used to watch like the World Wrestling Federation.
No, what do you do?
This is John Cena.
With Shane Hunter, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on 919. We all love a good story. Stories of love and life. Stories that entertain and inspire. And the best stories are the ones that happen to be true. Every Friday night, Jack Devnarain is live in conversation with an iconic South African personality who shares the true stories that shape their remarkable lives. Join us for Reality Radio, as real as it gets. From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Friday night, only on 919.
It's Reality Radio on a Friday night. We're coming to you live from 919 FM from Ilovo. And just to go back into this, I know it doesn't happen too often, but imagine complimentary tickets as part of our giveaway. This is a celebration only because this is a birthday edition of Reality Radio. Did you know it's a birthday edition?
No, I didn't. It's your birthday.
It's
Hey, it's
my
this guy's
birthday.
birthday. I forgot about
You see,
that. Hey,
It's
it's this
because
guy's birthday.
it's my birthday, and
Yeah.
because it's
But-
my birthday, I'm giving away tickets.
Yeah.
There's going to be a wonderful show coming up at the Victory Theatre in Houghton. It's going to be tomorrow night. That's Saturday, the 10th of Feb. It is. It's called Simple Stuff, and my friend Jeremiah Gounden is going to be taking us through some stand-up comedy. There's going to be live music as well. It's all laid out at the Victory Theatre. You got your safe parking. There's going to be snacks. There's going to be drinks. We are giving away double tickets. So if you go on to the 919 FM Facebook page right now, leave a comment with your name and simply say Simple Stuff. I'll make sure that you got double tickets waiting for you before the show starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the Victory Theatre. Now, you remember coming back to this wonderful history of yours as stand-up comedy. There was some controversy, I remember, when some stand-up comedians are fantastic with accents. And some are, okay, I'm not so great with accents, so I'm not going to do them. But some people actually get offended when people are trying accents that sound as if they are just insulting a certain community. And I'm wondering how you feel about that sort of thing. Because I remember, like, there was, what was his name? Perkins, if you remember.
Michael Nyka.
Michael Nyka
Yeah,
was the
Kevin
voice.
Perkins, yeah.
Kevin Perkins. He did the most brilliant job. People could not tell his accent apart from our Durban Indian friends who had that very thick kind of accent. So at a certain point, people started to take offense, even though they had enjoyed it a year before. How does that happen?
I think it's a point of reference thing. That's the first
Taba
thing.
Taba, thank you so much,
Thank
buddy.
you so much. I think it's a point of reference thing.
Okay,
Okay, and it comes back to opinion versus observation.
right.
It comes back to empathy versus wokeness, for instance. The wokeness, for instance. So, what's important is in stand-up comedy, what's important is to get the audience to laugh.
Right. Rule number one.
Rule number one.
Yeah.
Audience must laugh. I don't know how you get to that. It's up to you. That's the first rule. If the audience is laughing, then you have done your job as a stand-up comedian. The second thing is, you as a stand-up comedian have a responsibility that can change people's social outlook and perceptions. And you should take that responsibility seriously. So you are in a position to change popular culture as a stand-up comedian. But your first job is to make people laugh.
It's quite a privilege, though, isn't it?
Absolutely. And you have to take that privilege very seriously. You have to own that privilege. Because what you're doing is you're taking somebody else's energy, the audience, negative energy, and you bring it in onto yourself, and then you turn it around and try and push out the positive energy. And that people don't understand. It's like energy is real. So people go to a stand-up to want to laugh. Then in recent times, people go to stand-up to criticize the comedian. One, out of jealousy, out of envy, or they going through lots of stuff, and the only way to get over that is to go to a guy's profession and try and be better than that person so that they can feel better at night. Whereas you hurt, you're not healed. That's why you're doing that. So the people that find offense in certain things is, I guess, in my observations and my limited knowledge, hurt people. And how else are you going to show anger? But it's easy to come show anger at the clown. That's why there's clowns. That's why there was jokers back in the King. The King had jokers. That's because it was an outlet for anger. And the audience used that.
Yeah.
Especially with back in the day. If you go back into the 1600s and you see a joker, the kings wear the king's clothes, all those things. So that's why. So why does it happen? It comes if the comedian or the performer comes from a good place in their hearts. That's why Trevor does so well, because he came from a good place. Russell Peters kills because he comes from a good place.
Yeah.
You can easily see if a person comes from a good place or a bad place. Easily.
So you're saying that people will spot if you have an agenda and if you're trying to sell something. If you're trying to sell Amway, they'll spot it 100%.
Yeah, like I guess, like they say, be true to yourself.
Right. To thine own self.
Yes, be true to yourself. Yeah. So I know I've often been made fun of for my accent, because my accent is, and I never changed it. That's I can't do. Funny enough, one of the biggest roles I ever played in my career was Dollars and White Pipes, and that was not a comedic role. It was completely serious. And in Cape Town, I'm still known for that. And Dollars and White Pipes is 21 years old this year.
Yeah.
So that responsibility, and you know when a person comes with like Ricky Gervais, for instance, he's extremely controversial, but he comes from a place of, I want to share and change your perception about the subject.
Right.
And then you
Jimmy
get
Carr as well.
Jimmy Carr is a bit over the top. Then you get people that's irreverent, like Chappelle is irreverent.
Okay.
Like I feel like I'm irreverent.
Yeah.
But I come from a good place. So
Jim Jeffries also.
he comes from a good place. Bill Burr comes from a good place. So if you look at it's the point of reference. That's the most important thing. For if there is money for in South Africa, for an example, if there's 100,000 rand in a room, depending on your point of reference, that will determine what you're going to do with that 100,000 rand.
Yeah.
If you're Indian, brah, maybe you open a shop. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're color, brah, maybe you buy your mags or golf. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're black, brah, maybe you black tax, put your cousin through university. If you're a white guy, maybe you pay your Woolworths account. I don't know. There's a difference on how you perceive things on your where you grow up. So similarly, if there's a snake here, people will worship the snake, other people will eat the snake, other people will make shoes of the snake, other people will make the snake dance. It's not a snake, it's a constant. So in life, in general, it's a constant. So the way people react to our president, for instance, is the information they have about him. And where do they get that information? You know? The way people react to Putin is the information. And where do they get that information? So you ask yourself. So there's a person in Mongolia that is not no Western media influence is in that person's life in Mongolia. He's not exposed to mainstream media. He's exposed to the meetings that's going on in his town. So he'll have a different perception and point of reference to what's happening politically in Russia than to a guy in Texas, for instance.
In your years as a stand-up comedian, do you think South Africans are particularly sensitive about any aspect of South African life, that something that makes them uncomfortable, that they wished you wouldn't go and poke fun at?
Religion.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
religion, and obviously GBV and those things is no goes.
Okay,
I've learned
you wouldn't go there.
Now I went there once for the religion,
Yeah.
but I will never go there again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So those the learning opportunities for
It
you.
was
then.
a big learning opportunity. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So South Africans is very homely. South Africans is very in general. Like if somebody from TikTok, for instance, if somebody attacks a South African from overseas, even if you don't like that South African and you are a South African, you're going to stand by that South African.
Yeah.
That's how South Africans are. It's like we're family orientated. We've got morals. We've got lots of. If you go to Boerkaap, for instance, or you go to Chatsworth, or you go to Phoenix, or you go to Heidedal, Easterus. I took my daughter to Rivoli, and she's like, "Yo, I'll be able to stay here." I'm like, but it's dangerous here. But she's like, I feel safe because it feels like the community is going to look after me.
Yeah.
So that's South Africans.
That's really interesting. So
Just think about it. If you go to Phoenix
Yeah.
or to Chatsworth, they see you. They'll be like, yo, this is that guy from Isidingo.
Yeah.
Come. And this is the guy from 1 Million Reasons.
I always get a warm reception, but they also know that I'm not from there.
Yes.
Straight up. They just,
Yeah,
my
they know
brothers
you-
in Phoenix will
yeah.
just straight up say, oh, so you're visiting?
Yes. But the thing about that is they know that.
Yeah.
And they're not going to make you feel, it's like,
No, for sure.
yeah, it's like a family.
For
It's like
sure.
if you go to Shoshankuve,
Yeah.
Langa, Kaalicha, all the places that it seems to be dangerous, it's people that's welcoming. It's in general, South Africans is very welcoming.
Have you also had a welcoming experience when you travel around the world?
Yeah.
Would you also change your material if you're going to be there, knowing that, okay, the sensitivities are different if I go to the UK or France or wherever?
I love performing overseas. It's because you can just make up stuff as you go along. So if you perform overseas, like, because people don't really know you overseas.
Sure,
Some
yeah.
maybe 3 or 4 South Africans know you, but they don't really know you. So if you go for Canada, for instance, you just speak about Canada and your experiences there. Like there's
Yeah.
picket fences and jewelry stores don't have security,
Yeah.
and there's no you see a Rolex in a window. You get butterflies in your stomach, even if you're not a criminal. Like, there's certain things that, like,
Yeah.
it's refreshing to see a beggar. Oh my goodness, this guy is asking for money here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just speak about those experiences from a South African point of view in terms of stand-up. I guess the opportunities for South African comedians or performance, like Tyler is a good example, is if you're true to yourself. Tyler is going to be huge because she's not trying to be American.
You're right.
She's not trying to be what she is who she is. She speaks the way she speaks. Yo, yeah, now I was sitting next to Kim Kardashian. Yo, Kim. No, it was quite. Yeah, it was very nice. Yo, I was like, I know who you are. You know how beautiful that is.
Yeah.
And it's like so lekker. Like I was watching Cholo TikTok. You know what's Cholo TikTok? Cholo TikTok is like Chicanos. That's people
Okay.
from America, but they Latinos, Latin Americans that speak Spanish. But the way they dress, you'll think they're from Wendy's. They have the check and it's like the
Okay.
yeah, you'll think that these people are the way they dance, the music that they listen to.
Yeah.
You'll think that they're from Wendy's or Newlands East or Sydenham. You'll be like, well, Levi's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Docksiders.
Docksiders and Sabagos and
Yeah.
All Stars, and they have all these baseball jackets,
Yeah.
you know, the number, T-shirts, all those
That's a
things.
must.
Rasdien.
When last were you in Sydney?
The last time was before COVID.
Oh, okay. That's a long time ago.
I was in Durban after COVID, but I didn't go to Sydney. We just did the Sun Coast.
Yeah.
With Darren Moore. That was just, but I didn't
Okay.
go. Yeah, but yeah, the last time I was in Sydney was prior to COVID with Masood Boomgaard.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And how's that? How's his work going there?
So Masood is like.
Does he go outside of Durban? I know he's been overseas as well.
Yeah,
hasn't
he's like a world superstar now.
Ah, okay.
He's like on TikTok, you know.
Yes, he's got the guru
The
thing
guru
going on.
thing
Yeah,
going on.
okay.
He's like a world superstar guru now.
Yeah, I think he's found a nice little niche for
That's
himself
right,
there.
yeah. That's right, yeah.
That's always. Yeah, I
doing
think that
well
always
for him.
helps when you can find that niche.
Yeah.
And then also
the niche that you find
yeah,
must be consumable.
consumable, and it mustn't end up trapping you.
Yes. But I just think that if it's consumable,
Yeah.
content that is consumable,
Yeah.
you'll go far. If it's not
Yeah.
consumable and it's just for a niche market,
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah.
I know when I first tried stand-up comedy, my agent said you'll go far, and in fact, the further the better. So I gave it up after that point, but I decided I'm gonna try radio, which is why I'm here. But
Also, wait, but people that don't know, he's also a keynote speaker and an MC because Auntie Jane, my agent,
our
my-
agent.
our agent,
Yeah,
Auntie
yeah.
Jane, our agent, Auntie Jane.
Yeah, no, and Auntie Jane speaks very, very highly of you. You have to know. You have been adopted, by the way. I don't know if you know this. but
Yeah, I
Auntie
know.
Jane
Auntie
has
Jane is
adopted
my
you.
mother. No, Auntie Jane is. So
Yeah.
Auntie Jane has been through the thick and thin.
Yeah.
She was there when Akim's mom passed away.
Yeah.
She was there when Leia was born. She was there when all the toughest periods in my entire life.
Yeah.
Auntie Jane was there. I
And
cried.
that's when you know somebody's there for keeps. And
Yeah.
and in fact, reality radio is here for keeps, but we do need to take a short break. It's just going to be a quick one. We are coming back. Reality radio will pick up the conversation with Joey Rasdien in a minute.
You're listening to 919. 919. You're listening to 919. Breakfast on demand.
Here's something that came in. Now, this sounds like something I probably would have done back in the day. So back before cell phones were the norm for kids, I called my crush at home, obviously on a home phone around midnight, and we had a long chat. So we decided after some time, now you got to picture this, okay, that I should sneak over to her house. Now, being 13 at the time, I obviously couldn't drive. So I snuck out and rode my bicycle for almost an hour to get to her house. By the time I got there, she was fast asleep. I ended up getting caught sneaking back into my own house. It makes me think of Celine Dion. I drove all night.
With Shane Hunter, Monday to Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on 919. We all love a good story. Stories of love and life. Stories that entertain and inspire. And the best stories are the ones that happen to be true. Every Friday night, Jack Devnarain is live in conversation with an iconic South African personality who shares the true stories that shape their remarkable lives. Join us for reality radio as real as it gets. From 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. every Friday night, only on 919. Reality radio, as real as it gets, only on 919.
We are back with Reality Radio on 919. It's a Friday night, and we're having fun talking some stories. And if you want to get in touch with 919 just to share some of your stories, we've got a WhatsApp line to share. Send us a message. The 919 WhatsApp line is 084 2212 919. On Instagram, we're at IFeel919, and it's the same for X as well, at IFeel919. On Facebook, it's 919 FM. We got live in studio with us Joey Rasdien, sharing some of the stories of his life. hugely entertaining, but also very, very informative. And the one thing that just to pick up on something we mentioned about the responsibility that a stand-up comedian has, the privilege you have when you're engaging with people, helping them to look at things in a different way, to change their view of the lives that they live. Don't you also feel the same as a dad?
Yeah, that's such a quiet question. So now I can't go back to how I wanted it to answer.
No, you go back to how you want to go.
No. Because normally I do interviews is like, yes.
Come on, you're not going to
Okay,
do that.
no.
You're going to kill me, man.
No. Yeah, so coming back to you know Khalil Gibran?
Yes.
He has a poem, The Prophet.
Yes.
And Almitra came to me and speak to me about children.
Yes.
And
they're not yours.
Yes, they might come through you.
Yes.
They might come, but they don't belong to you.
I remember that well.
So you have to try and become like them because they're the future, and don't try and force them to become like you because you're the past.
Right.
But just as the creator likes a bow that travels far, also the creator like a arrow that travels far, the creator like a bow that is stable.
Right.
So be that stable bow and let your children be the arrow, and you can shoot them far.
That's a powerful image.
That is basically Khalil Gibran's poem on children. So I am blessed to have good children. Like I'm blessed. I don't know where God did well there for me. And all I can do is explain to them one simple concept. And this concept is, you, my child, Hakim Rasdien, Leia Rasdien, you are the most important person in your life. Not me, not your mom, not your granny, not your teacher. You are the most important person in your life. Not your future husband or your future wife. You are the most important person in your life. So the decisions that you make needs to reflect the love you have for the most important person in your life. So whatever decision you make, it needs to reflect the love you have for the most important person in your life. And that's you.
That's so powerful. So often when people, and this happens a lot on social media, but people don't realize how they reveal so much of themselves by the stuff that they say, by the things that they express. And often if you just remind somebody, my friend, the stuff that you're talking about right now is a reflection of the home that you come from. And suddenly you see a change in their attitude because they want to honor where they come from. They don't want to dishonor or to ridicule through the words that they use, even though the words that you use are a reflection of that. And another story, I have to share this with you only because I know you get so many of these interview requests. It happens a lot around Father's Day. And you get that famous question about, are you a good dad? And it takes a lot in me to tell the guys, listen, if I say I'm a good dad, what does that mean to you? Like, does that make any difference whatsoever if I say I'm a good dad? If you want to know if I'm a good dad, ask my kids.
It's a bit of a redundant question. I get that. I get that. Are you a good dad? I don't think I'm a good dad. All I can do is give my children a foundation.
Yeah.
And what they do with that foundation, it's up to them. I got a certain foundation, and hopefully, my son is doing honors. He's doing honors in fine art at Michaelis School of Art. So
that's awesome, man.
You know Michaelis School of Art, Michaelis at UCT.
Yeah.
My son is there. He's doing honors now. My daughter is at the good school, the best girls' school in South Africa, Kingsmead.
Yeah.
So she's and that's the foundation you can give them. What they do with it is their own thing. Did you watch Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer? And it's like I can just give you this. You have the bone structure of a Kung Fu master. All I can do is give you this.
Yes.
What you do with it is
And it's for them to take responsibility for that as well.
Yes. So people won't take responsibility, or your children won't take responsibility if they don't see you take responsibility.
Yeah.
So I smoke.
Yeah.
So I can't get upset if my son vapes or smokes or whatever. The cool thing is they discourage you. Yo, Dad, stop now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, stop. Then you feel bad. Then you're like, yesterday I've raised these ones like that now. So yeah.
So at least it's unexpected. In fact, that's one of my favorite jokes that I remember. You were doing a set once and you were talking about what was this unexpected attack, this attack that came out of nowhere. Do you remember this one?
Yeah, it's when you don't eliminate the element of surprise.
Yes, yeah, please just tell us that.
No,
I enjoy that so much.
No. You know, sometimes people, they don't eliminate the element of surprise.
Exactly.
Like in 31 Million Reasons, the cops stole the SBV truck.
Yeah.
And then they put it in the roof. And
Yep.
then the other cops came in like, yo, we know you hijacked the SBV place there. And the guy's like, no, I didn't. You are like, I didn't. Then it's in the roof.
Yes.
Like, you can't eliminate, people don't eliminate the element of surprise.
Yeah.
They're just completely surprised all the time. And I think you should eliminate like they will speak about, it's this. Just think about it. Just think about it. America is now surprised that Russia is like, nah, we don't want this. Now, all these years, you don't know. If you watch the interview, you know that Ukraine didn't even exist. It's only since 1941 that Ukraine existed. And it's not even part. But that's a story for another day. You must eliminate the element of surprise.
Eliminate the element of surprise.
Yeah, because that's why
Yeah.
if you go to Thailand, you must watch. you have to eliminate the element.
How do you eliminate the element of surprise in Thailand?
You have to embrace yourself. You have to go, yeah. If that happens, then I can't now. I can't. I have to embrace the moment. Feel good. Anytime, all the time. 919.
So you are watching this entertainment industry unfolding, and it's a changing environment. It's very dynamic. The stuff that you and I were doing 20 years ago has all changed now.
No, there's certain concepts and premises that's still exactly the same that you can do forever.
Right,
Especially with my
right.
material. Like
Okay,
I
yeah.
speak about evolution and I speak about
Yes.
Cognitive dissonance before it was even a thing. I
Right.
spoke about cognitive dissonance and the pluralistic ignorance.
Mm.
But I didn't say pluralistic ignorance. I used examples and
Right.
cognitive dissonance and evolution.
It
and how
described
we-
the same things, though.
Yeah. So people didn't know that was the concept.
Mm.
They didn't know that just what he's actually speaking about has got a name.
And just to be clear, you believe in evolution, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
I believe that Darwin, there was nothing. And then Darwin, there was the thing about evolution is it can't be possible if you don't believe in a creator. So you first have to believe in a creator before you even can think about believing in evolution. It's like, for instance, you can't. It's like asking a car to explain Henry Ford.
So you are advocating for both. There was a creator who created evolution, is what you're saying.
Yes, omnipresence, a higher power.
Okay.
A higher power, unexplainable, because this is reality. You don't know. I might be AI. I don't know. You don't know. I might just be.
Okay.
So we don't know. But the thing about a creator and God, if you believe it, is that God don't make mistakes. So evolution is not mistake.
I get you. So what you're suggesting also is that there's a creator who can't by accident make a rock so heavy that he couldn't lift.
Yes, for instance. That's a good example. That's a yes. Yeah, by accident. Like, you can't.
Right.
It's like, do you understand? It's like there was an angel that disobeyed God. But God knows everything. There was a reason why that angel disobeyed God, and why it got. This is a story for another day. But I'm just saying, God knows everything. So God created that purposefully. We need to ask ourselves, why was that created, or why? Why is evolution? Why is it film amoeba? And then we went from amoeba, the one-cell organism, to organism to a hydra, and we broke out, and then we had protozoa, and we had. How did that came about?
Yeah.
Like mollusk, like Patrick, the starfish.
Yes.
and snail. and Gary the Snail from
Yes.
SpongeBob and SquarePants. Gary the Snail was the first LGBTQI plus, because Gary the Snail has got both. He's a hermaphrodite. He's an asexual, and he's got his own
I
house.
didn't realize that, but it's absolutely biologically, filmically true.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yes.
That's why snails is so chilled. They have their own house. They don't have
Yeah.
to go out on a date. They can just chill.
They're quite self-satisfied.
That's weekly. Absolutely. It takes 3 weeks to move from this chair to that chair.
And when they get there, they could be in Thailand.
Yeah, they could be. They could be.
Yeah.
Thailand. Oh my goodness. Point of reference. It's a point of reference. It's a complete point of reference. But what I'm saying is, you can't believe in certain concepts, mathematical concepts, so pi radius quadrat or E is equal to mc squared, if you don't believe that there was a creator that is involved in all these things.
If you were going to study some academic course right now, some post-grad thing, what would it be?
Theology.
Oh, so you're going to go back to the Imam goals. That's a fascinating hashtag. Imagine that, Imam goals.
Imam goals, yeah. I had my hashtag was Alim goals when I
Yeah.
started on X, when
Yeah.
it was still Twitter. So there's an interesting document I stumbled upon on how Kung Fu and Lao Tzu had a correlation between Lao Tzu, Tao Te Ching. You know Tao Te Ching.
All right.
Tao Te Ching is the Chinese people, and Kung Fu, it's like Chinese principles, the Kung Fu principles, and how it correlates.
Correlates.
Correlates. That's,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm dyslexic there. Between religious texts.
Well, that's a fascinating thing, and that
Like
requires
you
a
can
whole.
start by Bhagavad
It
Gita.
needs a whole different show.
No,
and-
but you asked the question, so I'm answering.
Well, I appreciate the answer. Thank you so much for that. Everybody, this is Joey Rasdien, and that was Reality Radio. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe, because we're going to connect with you on YouTube. Also, the special offer is still available on 919 FM. That's on our Facebook page. My name is Jack Devnarain. Have a great weekend.
Can I say something? If you guys want me back, just go on Facebook there. Okay, bye.